Okay, so let's start. So yesterday we have studied about the constructor. Constructor is a special member function. Constructor is a special member function. It is having the same name as that of a class name. क्लास का नाम और कंस्ट्रक्टर का नाम सेम होता है. कंस्ट्रक्टर डज नॉट हैव ए रिटर्न टाइप, नॉट इवन void. Okay, constructor gets called automatically at the time of object creation. So we have seen when we execute this statement, so default constructor box will get called automatically when we execute this statement, and when we create an object mybox2, the default constructor box gets called automatically and the constructor will initialize the member variables with the values 10 10 10. Here in this program we have seen that when we execute this line, so here we are not calling the default constructor. Here, since we are supplying arguments 10 20 and 15, so this constructor will get called and it will initialize the values of width, height and depth with 10 20 and 15, and accordingly the same thing will happen for the mybox2. So till here we have seen. Okay, so now let's start with the access control. Access control, you might have studied in C++ that the access specifiers available are public, private and protected. As we might have studied in C++ that the public variables or public functions can be accessed from within the class as well as from outside the class. Public can be accessed from all the places. Private variables or a private function of a class can only be accessed from within the class. It is not even accessible outside the class. And protected is accessible from within the class, and it is basically used when we perform the inheritance. So protected variable or protected function is accessible from within the class and from the child class. Okay, so with respect to protected, we will study in detail when we will study inheritance. So as of now, let us focus how to use this public and private. Okay. Okay, so in addition to the public, private and protected, we will discuss about one more access specifier, that is default. When no access specifier is used, then by default the member of a class is public within its own package but cannot be accessed outside of its package. Okay. In the class developed so far, all members of a class have used the default access mode. So you will be getting in-depth knowledge of how this default works when we will study packages. Let's try to see few examples, and with the help of example, let us try to understand this concept: public, private, protected and default, how all these four access specifiers work. Okay, so this is a simple program. Let's try to understand it. Okay. So for this we have created one class test. Inside the class test we have created three variables: int a, int b, int c. We have created three different variables. For the variable a, we have not specified any access specifier, that is public, private, protected. We have not specified anything. So when we do not specify anything in Java, then that variable or a function is having a default access specifier. Default access specifier. For the second variable, int b, we have written public. So b is a variable of type integer and the access specifier is public. For the sake of understanding, we have given public. Int c, c is an integer kind of a variable, and we have, so int c, c is an integer variable, and we have given access modifier as a private. Okay, so now in short, in a gist, we have three variables a, b and c. A is default, b is public, and c is private. And we have written two functions. The name of the first function is set c. Set the value of c. So what is the purpose of this function? This function will accept one argument from the user. Whatever argument user will supply, this function will initialize the variable c. This is a simple logic. If user supplies 5, then c is equal to 5. User will that this function will initialize c is equal to 5. The next function is get c. Okay. Now what is the logic of this function? When user will call this function, this function will return the current value of c. Whatever the value of c, let's say c is equal to 10. So when user will call this get c, so get c will return the current value of c. Current value of c is 100. So current value 100 will be returned. And c is a variable of type integer. That's why the return type is mentioned as int. Get c is a function which is returning the current value of c, and c is of type integer. That's why the return type here for the get c function is int. So this is a simple class we have written. Okay. Now let us use this class. So for the use, we have created a class. We have written a main function. When we want to use a class, we create an object of a class. So class name is test. So test ob is equal to new test. So test ob is equal to new test. Test ob is equal to new test. So this ob variable is created. Ob object is created. Now how your ob will look like? Your ob will have, say, first is default section. Your ob will have some public section. Your ob will have private section, and this is functions. Here you will write functions. So in your ob, a is a default kind of a variable, b is public variable, c is private variable, and you have two functions, set c and get c. This is how your object will look like. Now our task is to assign values to a, b and c. This is my task. Now we know that, let us discuss about a. A is a variable of type integer, and no access specifier is mentioned for a. So a is default. So a is default. It means a will behave like a public. We will study default in detail when we will discuss about packages. So as of now, for the sake of simplicity till here, let us assume that default and public are same. What is the difference? We will study in packages. Okay. So nothing is there, it means it is default. Default, let us assume it is same as public. So public is accessible outside the class. How to access variable outside the class? This ob.a. So ob.a is equal to 10. It is perfectly alright. You can initialize variable value a like this here. It will work fine. No issues. Let us initialize the value of b. So b is public. Public can be accessed outside the class. I mean, we are talking about this class. B is defined here. It can be accessed outside the class because it is public. So okay, ob.b. ob.b is 20. Here we can initialize it like this. Let us discuss about c. C is private int c. C is variable of type integer and it is private. So if we try to initialize like this, ob.c is equal to some value 100, it will give you an error. Why? Because c is private. C is private. Private to which class? Private to this class. So you can only access c within this class. You cannot access c outside this class. Okay, that's why this line will give you an error. ob.c is equal to 100 will give you an error. Now sir, we can initialize value of a here, we can initialize value of b here, but since c is private and if we try to initialize here, it is giving us an error. So is there any way to initialize the value of c? Is there any way to initialize the value for a private variable? Yes, there is a yes. You can initialize it with the help of function. You can retrieve with the help of function. So if you want to initialize value of c, you will not initialize like this. You will use this function. So ob.setc, ob.setc function you will call. You will initialize whatever value you want 100. So this function will get called and value of c will be initialized. So if you want to initialize the value of a private variable, you will initialize like this. Public and default values can be initialized like this. Okay. Now you want to print the value of a, b and c. The value of a you can print system.out.println ob.a, it will work. System.out.println ob.b, it will work. But if you print system.out.println ob.c, so it will give you error. What error? That c cannot be accessed outside the class. If you want to access the value of c, you need to use this function getC. So you will write ob.getC. So ob.getC is a function. When you will call this ob.getC function, this function will return the value of c and it will get printed over here. This is how your private, public and default access specifier will work. Okay. Yes, sir. Let us try to write some sample program and we'll try to understand by running it. Okay. Okay. So here, let's say I write class sample. Okay. I have written one class sample. Inside class sample, let's say I write public int x. I have written public int x. I have one public kind of a variable, public int x. I will write another class, say test, class test. Inside test, let me write public static void main string args, or you can write any name, string a, and inside public, if I create test, I want to create object of say sample class, say sample s is equal to new sample. Okay, this is how I can use it. I will save it with the name test.java. Now if I want to assign the variable value for x, how I can assign? I can assign s dot x is equal to 5. Because x is a public variable can be accessed outside the class, and s dot x is equal to 5 if I assign, and if I try to print it, so system dot out dot println, how I will print? X is equal to plus x. I can print it like this. I will go to tools, compile the program. What is the error? Here x cannot be accessed like this. This is s dot x. S dot x. Print the value of s dot x. So compile the program. Compiled successfully. Run the Java program. Your x is equal to 5. This is one way of initializing the variable value x. How you can assign it again? So yesterday we have seen one constructor, how to write a constructor. So if I write a constructor and if I initialize like this, x is equal to 5. Let me comment this code. Okay, let me comment this code. We can initialize value like this. We can save the code. We can compile the Java program, and we can run the Java program. The value is 5. There is another way. Let's say you want to initialize the value. So you can write void init kind of a function. Void init function. And inside this init function, let's say your user wants to say supply some value. Say int temp. User will supply some value. And you will initialize like this, int x is equal to temp. So here you need to call, say s dot init 100. This is how you can also initialize this. We have seen earlier. You can save, you can say compile Java, you can run the Java. So x is equal to 100. So these are all ways by which you can initialize the value for a public variable. More important here is you can initialize like this. Let's say we create another variable, say private int y. You have another variable, say private int y. And if you want to initialize the variable value for y, let's say you initialize like this, try to initialize like this, ki s dot y is equal to 200, and if you try to compile the program, you will get an error. And the error is the y has a private access in sample class. Y has a private access in the sample class. So integer y is private for the class sample. So you cannot access y here. So how to initialize? Okay, either you can initialize y here, y is equal to say 10. You can initialize y is equal to 10 here. Okay. If you compile the code, you will not get any error now. Y is equal to 10, code successfully compiled. Okay. And say let's say you want to initialize y here, you can initialize it, y is equal to 10. If user supplies say value 100 and you want x is equal to 100 and y is equal to 100, you can initialize it here as well. No issues, there won't be any issues. Now if you try to print the values of y, if you try to print the value of y here, let's say system.out.println y is equal to s dot y, you will get an error. Why error? Because y is private. You will get an error that y is private. Y is private in the class sample. You cannot access y directly here, so you will get an error here. Okay. So how to display the value of y? So you need to write one function, say int get y. Get y name का एक function है that you have written, and what that function will return? That function will return the value of y. Whatever is the value of y, that function will return y. So if you want to print the value of y from outside the class, you can do so by using s dot get y. S dot get y. Now you can save the code, you can compile the code, there won't be any error, you can run the Java program, you will get y is equal to 100. So this is how you can access public and private variable. Let's say you want to write one display function here, void display. So this display can print system.out.println and system.out.x and y if you want to print here. So you will print x is equal to plus x, and here you will print y is equal to plus y. So try to see the difference. Since we are accessing x and y here within the same class, okay, so this is how you have to write system.out.println print x and y. So whoever object, say s object is calling this display function, so x value for object s will get printed. So this is how you can, you can write various public variable, private variable, and this is how you can access it. If you have any queries, please.
Sir, why the value of y is showing 100?
Why the value of y is showing 100? Because see, your program starts from main, then this constructor, this line gets called, sample s is equal to new sample. We know as soon as the constructor gets called, as soon as we create an object, constructor gets called automatically. So after this line, your control will go here and it will initialize the value of x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. In the next line, you have again initialized the value of x is equal to 5, no issues. In the next line, you have called this init function, init 100. So again init function got called and value of temp is equal to 100, and here you have modified the value of x and modified the value of y with 100. So till now, till here the current value of x and y is equal to 100, and now if you print the value of x you will get 100, and now if you print the value of y you will get 100. Any further queries?
Sir, what is this init function?
Init function is a user defined function. If you don't like init function, you can write get, no issues. Get any function any function name which is there to accept the user argument, any function name of your choice.
सर वहाँ पर आपने set y क्यों नहीं लिखा?
Okay, you can write set y function as well. Say you can write here void set y, and user will supply one value, and whatever value user will supply you will initialize with that variable. And here if you want you can recall s dot set y 500. This is how you can write set y function, and this is how you can call the set y function. Now if you save the code, if you compile the code, and if you run the code, you will get y is equal to 500. These are various ways by which you can assign the value and retrieve the values. See if you have any further queries.
सर अगर void display को कॉल करना हो तो किस तरह कॉल करेंगे?
void display को अगर कॉल करना है तो you will call it like this, s dot display. You will call display, you will save the code, you will compile the code, you will run the code. This x and y is coming from display, and this earlier x and y is coming from system.out.println. one value is for this, one value is for this, and display function will get called, so it will print 2 lines. So total you will get 4 lines in the output. If you only want output from display, you will comment this, you will comment
Okay,
this,
sir. Thank you.
you will save the code, you will compile the code, and you will run the code. So you'll get values from display only here, like this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, understood everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, somebody is asking the doubt, please.
Sir, we can write set and get only for private now.
You can write for public as well, no issues. See, the public is X. Okay, let's say you don't want to initialize X like this, you don't want to initialize like this X, you don't like this method also. But if you want to write set and get for public, you are most welcome to write it. Say void set X int I, user will enter some value and you will initialize here, say X is equal to I. And if you want to return the value of, say, get X and get X, okay, and it will return the value X. Now you don't like this method get X get Y रहने देते हैं, you want to call that function, say s dot set X to say 1000. Using setX method, you have initialized the value of X, and if you want to say call the get Y function, so you will copy this and we will paste it here. Say X is equal to get X. We'll comment this. We'll now only display the value of X. So we'll save the code, we will compile the code, and we can run the code. You will get X is equal to 1000. So you can write set method, get method for public as well, for private as well. Public, you have various ways of accessing it from within the class, outside the class. Here as well you can access it. Okay, here like this you can access it. But still, if you want to write function, you can write the function. For private, if you want to access it outside the class, there is no other way than writing getX and setX function, get and set function. Understood?
सर दोनों एक ही फंक्शन में नहीं हो सकता क्या?
दोनों
डिक्लेरेशन दोनों एक ही फंक्शन में नहीं हो सकता, डिक्लेरेशन और रिटर्न?
हो सकता है. ये देखिए, दिस इज द सेम फंक्शन वी हैव रिटर्न. दिस इज जस्ट आई मीन से इसको नाम दे देते हैं set xy. So user will write, say, supply one value and same value will be given to X and same value will be given to Y. This is set xy function. So if you want user to give two values, so int temp1 comma int temp2. So user will supply two value and the first value will be used to initialize X, second value will be used to initialize Y. Okay. So here in this function you can say initialize two variables at the same time, but for returning one function can return only one value at the same time. So if you want to return value of X and value of Y, so you have to write two different functions. This returning two different values from the same function is not possible.
Okay, sir.
Introducing final. So final is a keyword. Final is a keyword. You say you can write like this. If you initialize variable, say int I is equal to 100. So you can write final int I. Final int I is equal to 100. So final has three uses. Final has three uses. First, a final can be used with the variable like this. Let's say you want to write a function, say void f. F is a function. You can write final here. Final void function. So you can use final keyword with the function in combination with the function. The third use is, let's say you write a class class demo. Demo is a class. So you can write final class demo. So final has three uses. First, final variable. Second, final function. Third, final class. Now what is the use of this final variable, final function, final class? So if we write a variable as a final, we cannot change the value of that variable further. Let's say you are writing a program wherein you want that the variable value I is equal to 100 if I initialized it for the first time, and then during the entire course of the program nobody should be able to change that value of I. And if someone tries to change the value of I, you should get an error. Then you will initialize that variable as a final variable. Let's see how it works. See, here what is extra, let's see if this code is still working. Okay, now this code is working. So here, let's say, okay, well, let me create a new file. Okay, so let us say class sample. Okay, inside class sample, let's say you have one variable int I is equal to 10. Okay, this is your variable I and you have initialized it here itself, no issues. Class demo, and inside class demo you have written, say, public static void main string variable name. Okay, now here you want to use that sample class, so you will use that sample class. Sample obj is equal to new sample. Okay, and here if you want to print system.out.println, if you want to print the value of, say, I, so you will print it like this: I is equal to plus obj dot I. You can print the value like this. Let us save this program first. And let us compile the program. What is error?
S is small.
S is
System.
small. System.out.println. Okay. Let us compile the program and let us run the program. So here the value of I is equal to 10. We have initialized it, we have printed it. Now I want to change the value of I here. I will write obj dot I is equal to 50. Initially the value was I is equal to 10. I have initialized the value, I have changed the value of obj dot I is equal to 50, and now I want to print the value of I. Okay, so I'll compile the program. I'll see the output. So the value of I is now changed to 50. Now if I want to restrict this so that this should not happen, nobody should be able to change the value of I, and if someone tried to change the value of I here, I should get an error message. So I will write here final int I is equal to 10. So whatever is the I value here, this is final, and no one should be able to modify it later in the program. So I'll save it, I'll compile it. I should get an error message. Yes, I have received an error message. An error message says that error you cannot assign a value to final variable I, obj.I is equal to 50. I mean, you are getting error in this line, and error is you cannot assign a value to final variable. Final variable you cannot assign value here because I is final variable. So this is how the final variable works. See, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Any queries?
No, sir.
Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one use of final variable, like how final is used with respect to an variable. Okay, so the use of final with class and the use of final with function we will study when we will study inheritance. Okay, so the use of final with function and use of final with class is related to inheritance concept. So these two terms, these two techniques, these two logics we will discuss in detail when we will study inheritance. Okay, so this is how introducing the final works here. This is